how's it going and welcome to the Try Time podcast. Stay tuned for your weekly dose of rugby league chatter, discussing what's happening in the world of rugby league.
Hi, welcome back to the Try Time podcast. I'm Callum.
And I'm Matt.
And we're here with episode 9.
Cool.
You know what? This is staying in. This just shows how dodgy our equipment is and why you need to subscribe, like the video. Yeah. But yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, episode 9. We're back. We're going to do some more overreactions like we did after round 1. This is after round 3. Some different ones. We're going to do as usual, shouting out to the Fantasy League, looking ahead to next week's fixtures. Not too much. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on in rugby league. I think
there's a lot going on. Whether or not it's worthy of discussion or of it
yeah.
is another matter.
But I think we'll get. What else to add, or are we getting straight into it?
No, I will just say on top of that, be sure to stick around the channel on Saturday where it's round 2 of my trivia, and in the theme of the big match this weekend, World Club Challenge.
Yeah, so
which hopefully I should know a lot better than Championship.
Yeah, should do.
And you won't be screaming Jamie Soward after clue number 2, I suspect.
You never know. Right, so overreactions.
Yes.
I'll get straight in with one.
Go on.
Will no gelling cost Wire a shot at winning? So will him not being obviously playing with all the suspension...
they didn't against Swakey, did they?
No.
And for all intents and purposes, that was a very sloppy game for both sides.
Yeah, there is a shot at winning the league, so it's like...
I don't think they'll win anyway. You were the one that put them top, so...
Yeah, I think it definitely makes me more cautious about the chances, but I feel like I could still see him doing it. I don't know if it's an overreaction or not, though.
I think it could be, because
he hasn't played
I've not
that well.
personally thought he's been... I don't think he's been brilliant this year.
Neither do I, but I don't feel like they have a natural centre to step in.
No, that's the thing. I don't really know where that replacement's coming from, and that's probably the more concerning thing for Warrington.
I think it's one of them where it's like, end of the day, they're going to be top 5 with or without Gillen. I think you almost could think it could affect him come...
I mean, if not, Steve Price probably won't be in that job next year.
If not, come grand final time, come semi-final time, hopefully they've got... Now, at least it's happened in after round 2 rather than after round 30.
I suppose it depends how long it rumbles on for, though, because
you don't want
you've got to think, unless you're going to actually... We don't even know at this point what the outcome of the investigation is going to be.
No, we really don't, do it.
Let's assume for this purpose that he is found to be committed breach of contract and is therefore removed. You want to get that done relatively quickly so you can reinvest. If that happens after the cut-off point for signing domestically and there's not much coming out of the NRL at the time, you can potentially be a bit stuck if this rumbles on for months and months and months.
Well, the thing, you want it over now, and then they can either decide whether they're going to replace him or they're going to work someone else into that spot in the team, and then they should be all right come end of the season.
Because I would say, arguably, if this was a week or two before the grand final, you either keep it hush or you just let him play through it.
Yeah.
Because it's not... From everything we've heard, it doesn't sound like it's a sporting offence like Hardacres was.
No, it's not.
And Greg Eden is still playing for Castleford, and we know for a fact he's in court later this year. So much from going to Keighley. But I don't know, I think it could be costly, maybe more in the sense of the off-the-field effect as well as on it. Yeah.
I don't know. I think in terms of this, I'm going to say it is an overreaction.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to win anyway, but if they're not going to win, I don't think Gelling is going to be the reason for that.
No.
Okay,
right.
Moving on.
So, Leeds are going to challenge this season.
I hope so. I bloody hope so. Yeah. I'm not going to say too much about this, but fantastic win. Great to see some of the young lads getting on the score sheet and generally looking a lot closer to being Super League players. Gale as captain is an absolute masterstroke. If that's not kept for the rest of this season, I don't know what sort of incriminating evidence Stevie Ward has over the Leeds hierarchy, because Gale should be captain.
Yeah, very good.
Fantastic. There was a try in particular. Gale kicked it. Briscoe wins the aerial duel, knocks it back to Handley. It was so much like Simfield to Hall to Moon over.
Yeah.
It was like watching Leeds 5 years ago.
5 years ago, yeah.
I jokingly said before the match, not to 50 in 80 minutes again against Hull KR, and it nearly happened.
Yeah.
Because one of Hull KR's tries was a bit contentious.
Yeah.
Granted, there were a couple of Leeds ones that also may have been questioned if we'd have had a video ref.
There were 50-50 ones, yeah.
So I'm not going to say that we got everything against us, but yeah, based on that performance, it looked like a few years ago.
Yeah.
But are Hull KR really the metric of the average Super League team this year? We just don't know yet.
You'd think coming into it, I had Hull KR to win, which cost a lot they'd played in 2 weeks before. But
yeah, they were good. They did better against Hull FC than we did, but then that's not saying much.
Yeah, that's true.
And also, that's round one, so you kind of question.
Do you think it's an overreaction? That is a question.
No, because I think Hull FC, the side Hull put out against us, would challenge for the league and the grand final.
Yeah. So you don't think Leeds are going to challenge?
I think they'll be there or thereabouts for the top 5. And if you get into that top 5, we saw with Fev in the Championship last year, anything happens.
Yeah, but you don't think it's an overreaction because you're like, this one result doesn't mean you're suddenly favourites to challenge or win league.
But I do think
I'd agree,
this is how we're gonna. I think this is more what you're gonna see from Leeds this season rather than the team that looked blunt against Hull.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. To be fair. Right, next one. Huddersfield top 5 ?
Only unbeaten team left in the competition.
Yeah.
Granted, they've played a game less.
Granted, they've only played 2 games, yeah.
But, they've still got it. I think they look alright this year. They ground out that result against Salford, though.
I watched that. It was a really good game. But the game management were there, and they just managed it well. And
Is this the Aiden Caesar effect?
Yeah. What did I say 2 weeks ago on the overreaction?
If he kicks on
I said,
and fits in, Huddersfield will not be far away.
Yeah.
I believe.
I don't think it's an overreaction. Well, no, I don't think it's an overreaction. I think it probably. I probably have them at the minute, just about sneaking in there, same as Salford did last year. I said Huddersfield are this year Salford, and I feel like the similarities are mental. Right,
with Caesar being the new Hastings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I see him going quite that far because I worry about the rest of the squad.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but they're all turning up for each other. That's the thing. They're all playing.
They are, but I mean,
it depends how. It's one of them where it's like.
I feel like Salford without Hastings was better than Huddersfield without Caesar.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Although you say that, I guess Salford have lost other players as well, but Huddersfield did beat Salford.
They did, but they beat him with Caesar.
Yeah, with Caesar, yeah.
That's like saying Salford with Hastings beat them last year.
I think Salford had missed a trick not replacing Hastings with Caesar and instead replacing with Kevin Brown.
What did I say at the start of the year? A half-back combination of Tui Lolohea and Kevin Brown does not fill me with much confidence.
And with Kevin Brown now
banned for 2 games. Was that lenient?
Yeah.
I think he's got away with that.
That's a 5 game plus ban.
I mean, if we're looking at Hull FC losing, is it satire, however you say it, for 3 games?
Yeah.
For what I'd argue is a lesser offence than what Brown's committed.
Oh, definitely.
Salford have got quite lucky there.
How intent it was as well. I just think it's one of them where it's like he's got away with murder, to be honest.
And I mean, I know Ian Watson's got to come out and defend his players, but what was the quote? Something along the lines of he had his eyes on the ball, he's not an aggressive player.
Yeah, there was some flying about.
Okay, there's defending your players and then there's making yourself look like an idiot. And that falls well and truly into the latter.
Yeah, definitely. Right, so Toronto will pick up no points all season.
Okay, partly an overreaction. Toronto will pick up no points in the United Kingdom this season. I think is very plausible. They're on about putting Rochdale players in. Rochdale are not Super League quality or anywhere
Championship quality.
Exactly.
It's not even like they've got a bit of a partnership with a top Championship team. Or like,
this isn't like the dual venture deal thing you had with Bradford a few years ago, where arguably sneaking Jordan Lilly into the halves might be Sure, that'd be funny just for the sense of it'd kill you guys off.
Yeah, well, not at the time. It's like at the time when that deal was a couple of years ago. We had even last year we had the biggest squad in championship. We just signed way too many players. That's why we went into shit.
Yeah.
And then so they would have then been able to.
See,
This
the
year
common
they'd
factor
have no.
that doesn't it spend too much on wages, end up in trouble.
Yeah.
Spend too much on wages, like a recurring.
Funnily
cycle.
enough, me as a fan, I don't have any effect on that, so it's quite upsetting for me.
Yeah.
I have to. You'd have to live with it. You'd have to live with a constant rebuild every 2 years.
I mean, you chose to support Bradford when you have family members that turn out from other teams. You signed up to this.
Yeah, and I like it. I enjoy watching it.
Good.
So what are you saying?
Must be nice watching rugby you can actually win. Anyway, I don't know.
I think it's an overreaction, personally.
The thing is, if the squad stays so small, because we know
It
they've
will,
got
though.
some dispensation, but they have to sign Canadian players. And certainly not that I've seen, cannot think of a Canadian player that is Super League quality.
Unless NFL players start dropping down, but then you've got to teach them
but
how to
then
play
they've got to
rugby league.
adjust.
Yeah.
And who really adjusts to rugby at a Super League level so quickly?
Yeah.
Look at Luther Burrell. He came from rugby union.
I
And
bet they'd take it.
extremely out of shape for that first 6 months.
And now
Looks a lot better this season.
Yeah, I bet they'd bite their hand off for him.
In fact, arguably, he could be the centre that comes into Gellin's spot, actually.
Yeah, he could, or him or Hughes, really.
Yeah.
Arguably, I think Hughes is better as a second rower. I think he's one of the best second rowers.
Yeah, I'd probably put Burrell at the starting centre and potentially
And
Hughes
mould
if
him
he's
in.
not quite an 80-minute player.
Mould him into that sort of, mould him into it now, learn him it, and then, you know what I mean, like teach him it, and then he should be sound by end of the season. But they were back on Warrington again.
Yeah, we won't stay on them too long, but yeah.
Overreaction or not?
I think potentially not.
You actually think they will get any points?
I think they're going to struggle.
I think that's mad. I actually do. I think on the day, their best 13 is better than London's best 13 last year.
Anything they will score will be in Canada, and that squad reminds me worryingly of London 2014.
The year they got relegated.
And got 2 points.
Yeah, the year
Winning
when
one
them
game
in
at home
2014
against Leeds, because we were on Challenge Cup hangover mode.
It was well. That's what I think they'll get. They'll get some challenge. They'll pick up some wins around that time when
Their points will all be in Canada. I'm calling it now.
Right. We'll hold you to that.
All right.
Right. So number 5.
There's no forfeit. I don't mind.
This is good. Oh, we can make a forfeit if you want.
Well, you're gonna have to do it for the next one now because we've already said it.
This is going to be the most competitive Super League in years.
I mean, what are we classing as competitive though?
I mean, you can.
Are we talking about having a close battle for the title? Have you knocked that thing over again?
Yeah, but that close battle for the title, yes. But I always think for the top 5, it's going to be
because I'd argue last year was competitive, bar the title. The rest of the top 5 was very close, and you didn't really know who was going to get that second grand final spot.
Yeah, but I'm not saying I'm speaking the actual league. I think who will you say? Who's your top 5? If you were going to say who's going to finish in top 5, who would you say now?
Saints, Wigan, Warrington, Castleford, Hull FC.
Right, yeah. But then who's around it? Who's pushing it?
I think Leeds are close.
You think Huddersfield
I
are
think
close?
Huddersfield have potential to be, but they will need a couple of games swing.
Catalan? I
Too
mean, after
patchy.
the big win over Cass.
Too patchy for me.
Yeah. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you got to look at these, in overreaction to say the Catalan game, you've got
But
to
then
look
that's
and
like
think,
saying if Catalan win every single home game they've got left and travel, and Huddersfield, there's too many ifs and buts.
Yeah, but what I'm
You can
saying
say
is,
that
after
any
this
season.
week, after this weekend's games, is this an overreaction? Or do you think, like Wakefield winning and everyone's beating each other? What I mean is, right, so you might say, who's the best team in the
Apart
league
from
right
Toronto,
now?
who
Who's the
aren't
best
currently
team in the
beating
league right
anyone.
now? St Helens lost against Warrington.
But then beat Hull FC.
But then beat Hull FC, and Hull FC who have beat. It's like everyone's beating each other.
But
Hull
everyone's
FC beat
beating
Hull
each
KR,
other
who beat
when they've all got
Wakefield,
injuries.
Who beat Warrington.
Warrington haven't beaten a full strength Saints team. Saints, the second Hull had some injury problems, like Ratu going off at half time. That's when they came back into the match.
Yeah. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm just saying it is competitive. You could not say there's one team who. I know you say Huddersfield have won both the games, but they've only played.
But they've only played 2, and they've not really had the best 2 opponents yet.
Yeah, I just think there's going to be a lot of competitive games. I think there's a lot of games this year where you.
I agree with that, but I don't see how you can say last year. If we just go based on
I think it was.
The relegation battle last year was brilliant. Everything we
we'll
lost up the top, we had at the bottom. No.
I think Toronto just.
Toronto have been worse than I expected. And that kind of worries me at this stage of the year.
Because we were saying Hull are Wakey, and they've turned out quite well.
I still think Wakey are going to be in trouble. I stand by that. I think Hull look better than I thought. Toronto look worse. So, I think that's an overreaction. I think we're going to see some... I think we're going to have a lot more distinct groups this year.
Right. Last overreaction.
Go on.
Toronto...
And we're back on them again.
I actually didn't mean to... This is me getting obsessed with Toronto.
That doesn't surprise me.
Lomax.
How is he anything like Toronto?
I just had Toronto on the mind. That's what it was. Lomax is
I know one person around the rugby league community that will be very happy with Toronto on your mind.
Lomax is a lock for Man of Steel this year.
After 3 games, I don't even know what the current standings are.
That's why it's an overreaction.
I couldn't even tell you how many points he's got.
I'm not going off points or anything like that. I'm just saying how well he's played.
No, overreaction, massively.
Do you reckon? Who's your man of steel?
At this stage of the season, definitely.
Who's your man of steel?
I don't think I could comment at this point.
Go on, give me a name. Who comes to your mind first, apart from Caesar? Because I know Caesar came to your mind.
He didn't actually, because I don't think Huddersfield have tested against the top guys. French comes to an early mind.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually. French is a good shout.
I'd say he's probably the front runner at this stage. Not maybe in terms of points, but in terms of what I think is going to happen. But it's far too early to actually say with any sort of conviction whether or not he's going to keep that up.
But I just think Lomax is going to be consistently good all season.
The problem with Lomax is he's consistent, but I also think he's consistently the second or third best player on the pitch.
Yeah, but he was best player on pitch against Hull.
Yes, he was. I'll give him that one. But I don't look at St Helens' squad and think, who's going to be the player that picks up all the Man of Steel points?
Do you mean like
Lomax?
Do you mean like a Hastings got 3 points in most games he played? That's why he won it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't see Lomax being that guy. And if Saints lose, is he going to be the player that manages to sneak a point or two? The same way that Ratchford can do.
Do you mean whereas like a player like a Makinson... I know Makinson's out, but...
I mean, he was back in the squad last time,
yeah.
so...
Yeah. But like, I mean, like Makinson score a hat-trick and they lose, he'll get a point or two, will Makinson not. Do you mean like Lomax is going to get cancelled out by...
I think one of the certain things was the grand final. 2 years ago it was, when Warrington lost. Stephen Ratchford won the Man of the Match trophy, despite Warrington losing.
Yeah.
I think that's potentially, correct me if I'm wrong, the first time it's ever been gifted to a player not to win the grand final. Arguably unfairly, I still think Matty Bowen deserved it in 2015 against Leeds, which, to say I'm a Leeds fan saying that speaks a lot about his performance that day.
Yeah.
But if that was a league game, that's 3 points for Ratchford. I don't see Lomax putting in those kind of performances.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think it's an overreaction because I don't think he's a lock. I think he's a front runner.
He's a...
I just don't...
I'm ignoring the entire thing about Lock. I mean, for any Australian viewers out there who are just thinking Lomax isn't a 13, sorry to confuse you.
Lock just means like he is literally like, you could put him there now and you could put your house on it and he would win it. Like he's the favourite. He's out. He's like the one to win.
The big favourite.
Yeah.
The odds on bet.
So we're saying
overreaction massively.
And that's
potentially the biggest one of the day.
Potentially, yeah. I think it was quite outlandish anyway.
Definitely.
Right, so now we're on to the fantasy.
We're on to the fantasy. I can tell you it's no change at the top.
Yeah, well, I've got it up here. So Phil White is, in terms of the overall current top, he is at the top. Sean Peach is in second still. Them two they've just been hogging the top two for the few.
I'm falling down. I don't like this. I miss being at the top.
No, you're like 7th.
I mean, can I just put out all 3 of my teams, including a joke squad built around the greatest centre of the decade, Chris Wellham.
Yeah, shout out Chris Wellham.
Is beating his team that he picked live on the podcast. If you've not seen our live picks, by the way, go and check them out. Our teams look very different now.
Not very.
Okay, about 3 players different.
Yeah, 3 or 4 players different. Some subs made and everything. But
yeah.
I'll also give a shout out.
We will put links in the description if you're on the YouTube channel to those videos if you want to go see what we built and you've had chance. Also, do check our Facebook posts and the videos themselves. You can still join the league. All your points are carried over.
If
you scored more than the guy at the top or Sean Peach and you want to take second, just come and knock them off the perch. We've got 2 Wigan fans, 1-2. Please, somebody else come and add some competition. We can't have Wigan running away with it.
I've got a shout out to Mark Atkinson, he's the weekly winner. So this week he got 744 points.
Please say he's not Wigan too.
You know what? Guess who he supports. And if you can guess it in 3 guesses, then nothing happens.
Right, well, this is going to be based on what we've got a lot of Leeds people in the group, so I'm going to guess Leeds first.
Yeah. You're never going to get it.
Is it other?
No, it's not other.
Does that count as a guess?
No, it doesn't.
Alright, good.
It is a Super League team.
Please stop doing that. We've not got many Saints fans in the group, so I don't think he's going to be St. Helens.
No.
Can't think Castleford?
No. That's the person in first.
Hull FC?
No.
Go on.
Keep guessing. I want to see if it's
no,
the last one
get
you
it
say.
In 3.
The last one you say.
Toronto?
No.
Well, that was going to be the last one I was going to say.
The second last one you'd say.
OKR?
No. Oh my god.
Wakefield?
No.
Salford?
No.
Well, I don't know what you... Catalan?
Yes.
Oh my
god. Catalan.
To be fair, that's maybe a good shout, 'cause it's not a very French name.
Yeah,
we've got very off topic here.
Yeah. Yeah, well, congratulations.
Well done, top Frenchman.
Right, so...
On that note,
I think we'll leave the Fantasy League scene as though I'm not doing very well.
Yeah, you're definitely not having a good season.
It's just not going well.
You're the Toronto of this season. Yeah. You were hyped up so much. You beat your team up and you're doing crap.
I'll just like to say we've got an extra overreaction. Will Callum be the bottom of the league come the end of the season?
No, but you'll be in the bottom half.
So
I only say that because there's inevitably going to be some people out there that after about 10-15 weeks stop changing the team.
Yeah, and they're going to still have people still have Gellin in now, even though he's not going to be playing. If people have stopped, just made the team and just been right, we've left it. Or people
which, to be fair, is that rare. Everyone plays. It's probably not that big of a deal in this.
Or someone's got Arnaker in and then he fancies a couple of lines one weekend and then he's out, and then someone.
Zach, I hope you're not watching.
I don't think you will be.
No, I don't think you will be.
I think he's just one of them.
If you are, feel free to come on the podcast and we'll have a boxing match live. Zach versus Callum.
That'd be views, to be fair.
That'd be good, though.
Yeah. Actually, you know what I've got now? Before we get into the preview, of the Super League and some of the Challenge Cup and this weekend coming up,
I'm gonna pull the fixtures at.
I'll let you pull. I've got a couple of questions to ask. I've just got a couple of talking points. What's your opinions on rugby league fans? Not rugby league fans, the Facebook group.
Oh God! If this is gonna be a Featherstone rant,
no,
I'm not.
I'm just want to speak about because what did you message me about Leeds Hull KR? Hull KR fans throwing bottles.
Yeah, there was.
So that's why I think it's a talking point. That's why I want to speak.
There was a picture actually that went round that I can't remember who took it now. You could see the bottle flying onto the pitch after Ash Hanley scored the try from the break. And as they were kicking him out, threw a bottle straight into the south stand. Classy fella, gotta give it to him. 10 out of 10, definite model citizen. Yes.
Oh, that's good. Then.
Which is probably about the one good thing G4S actually did all match because they are useless.
Wow, what? Go on, I'll let you have a rant now.
Right. This has been the case. Robbie's game.
Yeah.
And the double header. Far too many fans in that stand.
Which one?
South.
Yeah.
And you've just got them. Literally, their only priority. Not the bottle throwing, not the general crap that goes on at these games.
Yeah.
If you stood even with one foot on a yellow step, they will literally throw a hissy fit as if you're about to stab them in the face. It is ridiculous. I don't know who honestly thinks they are fit to crowd control anything. They couldn't even crowd control a West Wales Raiders game. And their crowds are nothing compared to Super League. Sorry to West Wales Raiders fans. I'm sure you have a very loyal fan base, but there's not as many of you.
I wish I hadn't started you off on this rant now. I feel like I've
right,
just set
I'm going
you
to
off
stop
and
now.
absolutely off on one night.
Do you know what I was saying we won't go into Catalan stewards either.
We've had obviously the spotlight that, which I imagine that's just a normal thing that would happen in a rugby.
I mean, we had Salford with flares at Headingley last year, so.
But I think just some of the stuff. I'm not going to get in onto like the old Bradford Featherstone thing because end of the day, it's like you've probably seen it all over Facebook and all groups and everything. Like end of the day, investigation, whatever happens. So a lot of the stuff that's gone on, you just don't tolerate. But there's no point in getting into it because I'm sure you've all read it. And
speaking of investigations, there is one other big news story this week.
Yeah. Regarding
the standing down of Ben Thaler.
Oh yeah.
Now.
I don't know.
I feel like we need to touch on it.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it because I think he's the best Super League ref hands down.
I would agree with that, and I don't want to speculate on what's happening because all I've got is fan rumours, the same that anyone else has.
I think they've done well to keep it under wraps.
Say this because it could be absolutely a load of rubbish, and after everything that's gone on wider rugby league in terms of media comments, arguably contributing to one very sad suicide this week.
Yeah, definitely.
There is definitely not the time to start speculating. However, if the outcome of this does mean that we lose Thaler, we are losing one of the best refs we've had over the last few years, and it would be a big shame.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'd say. I definitely would. Look,
I
don't know. I
think
it's
nothing serious.
You'd think not. And hopefully, even if it's something along the lines of sort of like.
I mean, I don't know.
Like, even if it's something that's sort of not forgivable, that's not the word, but it's like something where like he's done something wrong.
Hopefully it's something that can move past and reinstate.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. And then like it comes out like it's not that bad. I don't think it's anything personal. I think it's all to do. This one is opposite of Gilly. It's to do with something in the game. I mean,
he refereed round 1, so I kind of think it can't have been terrible. No. Unless it just hadn't come to light, but again,
we just
I
don't know
want
enough
to speculate anymore.
That's
and
why
fair
I don't
play
really
to them. We don't need to know anything until the outcome of that investigation.
No, because otherwise you're just going to get people. You just don't want to get.
You don't want a social media trial.
Because it's just one of the worst places.
And there's enough ref bashing goes on without giving him an extra stick.
You don't want to just give him because then if someone comes out, like the conspiracies are already going around about Thaler or it must be match fixing.
No one knows.
It must be being bent ref all the time, and then everyone's looking at. Then it just gives more people more thing where people now aren't going to be like, oh, you can't blame the ref. No refs are bent. That's what everyone would say.
And this is the
thing.
Blame
the ref. Now everyone's like, well, they are. So there's something wrong.
And this is in comment sections that I've seen filled with like, he must have got 2 correct decisions in a row. He mustn't have given Wigan, Saints, Leeds. Insert your club there, a penalty. This just proves no one actually knows what's going on, and it's all full of speculation.
Hopefully in a few weeks, well, not hopefully, but potentially when news comes out, I'm sure we'll speak about it.
Yes. Once we get anything that's confirmed, we'll certainly top up this story, even if
definitely,
even if not much to discuss on it. But
even if it's one of them where it's like something's gone on with Thaler and it's like his back, he just this being suspended, sorted out. That's the sort of person we'd love to just have on this chair next to us, speak about the whole situation.
But until we get any sort of official news, we're not going to be commenting any speculation out of respect for both the RFL and Thaler.
Yeah.
But I do also think as well, we've forgiven Hardacre for enough.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just to touch on Hardacre a bit
just
more.
To bring that one in,
right. Well, I'd say...
With that, let's look to this week's fixtures that Thaler will not be refereeing any of them. What a segue that was. Now, into Friday, we'll ignore Sky saying that we have apparently Saints versus Catalan at Langtree Park at midnight, because that definitely isn't happening.
Well, no one's turning up if it is.
Well, if they do, they're not going to be watching any rugby.
Yeah.
It'd be like turning up to watch Huddersfield Leeds last week. It's not going to happen. So the first actual game we've got is Castleford hosting Wakey at the Jungle.
Should be a good game. Looking forward to watching it on Sky.
Cass win.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same.
Is Matautia back? Or has he got another game to serve?
He got it. Did he get it in round 1 or
round 1?
Round 1, and I feel like he only got 2. No, actually, I feel like
it was either 2 or 3, and I can't remember now. He may be back. We don't know.
Even if he's not, I still think they'll win.
Yeah, so do I. But it were annoying because I had him in my team.
Yeah, I'm
sure versus Huddersfield.
That's going to be a good game, you know.
Right, Hull are going to Huddersfield are like the Undertaker at this point with the streak. Hull KR are going to be the ones to end it.
Yeah, I'm going Hull KR.
Hull KR to end the Huddersfield WrestleMania streak of 2-0.
I think Hull KR are really good at home, so I'm going to go Hull KR.
Warrington, Toronto. Warrington, easy. Toronto to still score no points in the UK.
We're on to.
We're on to win. Brilliant. On that note, let's move on.
Warrington to win.
Yeah.
But Toronto will make a good account of themselves like they have done each other week that they've played.
I won't say every other week. They were a bit poor against Castle.
No, but
I know it was the first game.
Against Wigan, the same.
Yeah, they did alright against Wigan.
And Salford, they were winning with 10 minutes to go against Salford.
Actually, this is a good point. Do we mention Brian McDermott at this point regarding Toronto?
Go on then. Go on.
This is not an excuse to McDermott bash, I promise.
We've got through this quite quickly, so
yeah, we have actually.
I'll let you speak. Touch on it.
Obviously, I assume we've all seen it. It's been doing a lot of the rounds, and this is the Tuesday we're recording this. Obviously, it's going up tomorrow as I speak now. But McDermott basically saying that sitting at home in bed for 5 days, i.e. John Wilkin after he failed a concussion test last game, is ridiculous and that we have gone too far in head injury protocol. Discuss.
I just think it's like, at the end of the day, I know he's going to say...
It would be a Toronto coach saying this after everything else that's happened about Toronto.
I can see where he's coming from, but at the end of the day, there's people higher up who have... Like, at the end of the day, if something happened, all it takes is one player to end up dying or something. I know that's a bit extreme, but like something really bad happening from a head injury, and you'll look back and you'll think we should have done more. And I think the RFL have done really well in stepping up this, because at the end of the day, the players have got to come first. And I know
I agree.
You do come across as really sort of sour grapes because you haven't got enough players. Which I'm not even going to go into like Toronto should have signed anyone else. I just think if any coach
there's
had said this,
whole thing around Toronto's lack of ability to sign players, and that might actually be a separate discussion issue for one Saturday video.
Yeah.
Because there's certainly a lot of opinion on that.
Yeah.
But I hate to bring it back to this, but look at the amount of heart screening we have now post Danny Jones.
Yeah.
Do we really want the concussion equivalent of this?
No, we don't. That's what I mean. Because
I can think in other sports, the NFL is a prime example of something that didn't take concussion seriously for far too long.
And now they've paid price.
And resulted in so many deaths or CTE cases.
Early deaths, definitely.
Yeah.
Ex-players dying in the
And I mean, actually, American sports in general, WWE were guilty of it for a long time as well. I mean, I'm sure any of you that were ever into wrestling and are not much older than us will remember very well Chris Benoit.
Yeah.
Who, big brain damage, ended up committing a double murder-suicide.
Yeah.
And that was arguably attributable to repeated concussions.
Yeah. So I think it's just a stupid comment. I just think, end of the day...
And the fact it would come from McDermott, and he would be the Toronto coach after everything else Toronto have hit the headlines for.
He's making Toronto look very pathetic.
Childish. And the thing is, we've all been guilty of it. Saying the Canadians are causing trouble, or these transatlantic teams don't want to play by our rules, etc. This is an English coach saying this.
Yeah, this is aside from Toronto.
You cannot blame Toronto fans, players, club structure, or anything for this. This is Maungie McDermott doing exactly what he did best at Leeds and having a gripe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I respect him for what he won at that club, even if I do think a lot of the players kind of coach themselves.
Yeah.
But he is really undoing his reputation at this point.
Definitely. He needs to stop talking.
Keep it zipped. And to be quite honest, the way that they play, if it continues, he might not even be in a job next year.
It wouldn't surprise me
if
it's not, yeah.
So...
Yeah, that's his touch on that.
There's McDermott's addition to overreactions. We think it's perfectly legit.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to Saturday's games. Salford hosting Leeds at the only ever filled 2-stand stadium. I fancy us to be getting on the run now.
Should do. Well, I mean, Salford.
If Gale's captain, we're going to win.
Alright, I'll go Leeds anyway.
Thanks for the show of confidence. And on to... Actually, we will touch on this. Saturday, we'll go to the World Club Challenge afterwards, actually.
Yeah, I was going to say we'll go.
Sunday, Wigan Hull, the last league game of the...
That's going to be a really good game at DW.
at DW.
Wigan are good at home.
Hull are already complaining about injuries, which seems very fitting.
Injuries and...
Although
players
interesting,
and
they're not
stuff
asking
like
for dispensation on the cap for it. Or moaning about any other unfairs. And they get this every year.
They get every year. But they've got good depth now. I feel like they've got more... The young players have got a bit older. They've got the depth there. So I'm going to go Wigan still, though. But I think it'll be a good game.
I think Wigan. So we will touch on the World Club Challenge then. St Helens, the Super League champions, taking on Sydney Roosters, the...
Yeah, well, teams like Sydney, it's already come out Sydney are going to be resting players.
Does that mean Ryan Hall returns to English shores?
Yeah, he will be.
They're going to play if he's fit, to be honest.
If he is fit, they'll play him, no doubt. But
and knowing him, he would score against Saints and just make us all happy.
I think it'll be... I don't know, though, because if you have a full Saints side, I'd say Saints would win, but they're not fully fit, because Percival. I mean, Mixon might play, but then even no Percival, it's like... If they had that straight up back, that's their full team... falling over again. Their full team, I would say they'd win. But I don't think they're going to have it out.
The thing is, this team, with all the injuries it's got, I know we've had a couple of players back since, but they got nailed by Warrington, and Warrington aren't Sydney.
No. And that's Warrington without Widdop.
Yeah, but
and even Warrington with Widdop,
that doesn't make them stronger, I don't think.
And Warrington with Widdop lost a week.
Precisely.
Yeah.
So that's arguably a
I think Sydney will win, but I think it'll be a good game.
I mean, I talked at the time about James Bentley looking a bit out of his depth covering hooker against Warrington. And don't get me wrong, he had a much better game last time out against Hull. But this is Sydney Roosters, the NRL champions.
Roby will be back, though.
Full strength or not. Do you think he'll play?
Yeah, I think.
'Cause I think it's touch and go at this point, from what I've heard.
They'll play. Bentley might.
Think they'll risk it?
I would imagine Bentley probably plays centre. Unless they want to put
But even then, he's a second rower, I'd say.
Yeah, but he's closer to a centre.
He's closer to a centre than a hooker, but you still talk... I mean, who are Saints starting centres, assuming everyone's fit? Percival and Nagama. It's Percival that's out.
Yeah.
Like days after signing a new 5-year
they've
contract.
They've got Knowles, who's obviously like good at... But at the end of the day, they've got a lot of second rows and loose
yeah,
forward.
Knowles is a stronger forward as well.
Yeah, so that's why I think they'll play Perry out there and then put Knowles in second row. And probably have Bentley on bench.
I mean, I've seen... This was very outlandish suggestion I got. That I said... Play Lachlan Coote in centre and Jack Wellesby at the back.
That's a good shout.
Even if they do that, I still feel Wellesby's out of his depth.
I'd play Wellesby in centre and put Coote...
You do it the other way around?
Yeah. I'd just make it a straight swap. That's actually probably what they'll do. Or I'd play Wellesby on wing and bring one up. And bring
Makinson at centre?
Yeah, but then you go...
I mean, I think he'd do a better job at centre than Regan Grace.
Oh, Regan Grace is an out-and-out winger, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's bad.
I think we still both fancy Sydney to win that.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we're
the
going to
last thing I'm going to touch on, though, is I hope you'll all join me, the rest of the rugby league community, cheering on Underbank Rangers this Saturday, live on the BBC Red Button.
Sunday.
Is it Sunday?
Yeah. Sunday at 1 o'clock kickoff.
Is it 1 o'clock? This just shows how little I've actually...
It is 1 o'clock. I'm telling you now it's 1 o'clock.
It is 1 o'clock. This is how little I care.
I'm a Bradford fan. I know it's 1
o'clock. I'll take your word for it. Sunday, 1 o'clock, Red Button. Come on, Underbank. We're all cheering you on.
Right.
Oh, wait, it's not even at Oddsall anymore, is it? Because you've not got
a ground. At the Tetleys.
Oh, yeah, Dewsbury's ground.
Right, that's it anyway.
That's it.
Enjoy your weekend of rugby. Look out for the trivia on Saturday.
Look out for the Bradford fan who's not even going to the home game.
Supporting. Because I'm working.
Supporting this really small club who'll get half the gate receipts. It's appalling.
Alright then.
Absolutely
that's
shocking.
It, right. I've been Callum.
Neutrals, go watch them.
Make sure you're subscribing, liking, checking out if you're listening to just the audio, check out the YouTube videos.
Come join us on YouTube. We have other videos. You can listen to Callum looking like an idiot even more.
If you are watching this on YouTube now and you're not subscribed, then why not? Subscribe. It helps us know how
Drop us a comment. We always love good comments. Controversial opinions even better. Yeah. Because we will be back with the second edition of Fan Voice next week where we discuss some of your crazy opinions, and we've got some good ones.
Yeah.
So, I will tell you now, we've got some good ones. Keep them coming.
So thanks for watching.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Bye.